In this episode, Ryan talks about a joint venture that went wrong because of the so-called guru he JV'd with, and how that helped Ryan find his new JV partners. He also shares new problems and opportunities from another JV partner, who are on their 5th deal together with in the last 12 weeks, and why this is working really well. Lots of takeaways from this episode, especially if you are thinking about partnering with someone. Let me know what you think of this episode. Tweet me at RyanOttoX or leave a review and I'll send you another episode. Sound like a deal? Problems, challenges and opportunities on Thursday. Every Thursday, Ryan takes you deep inside his business, sharing his problems, walks you through his challenges, talks about the opportunities that you only find once you've broken through the wall. That's the secret that every entrepreneur discovers, because the biggest problem in your business today usually becomes your greatest opportunity and asset tomorrow.
Hey podcasters, so this episode I want to talk to you about some joint ventures that are making money for me in my business right now, and something that maybe I was a little bit scarred from in the past. So let me go backwards before we go forwards. A long time ago, I'm talking around about let me think. Well, I got into business, I got into property, I got into investing in the year 1999. And I had a joint venture partner in around about 2009, actually, 10 years later, thinking about it, which went terribly wrong. 2 joint venture partners, which were friends. They were friends before we went into business together. And it ended badly. I mean, I'm not going to go backwards and go over old things and older wounds or mention any names because that's just not right. But they are in the public eye. They are the so-called gurus of today, and they are doing the usual crap, which is selling the training. Really, not really doing the deals. They're not. They're just, the perpetual wheel of selling the how-tos, selling the training. And it's for that reason that we went our separate ways a long time ago. I'm talking around about 2009, somewhere around there, because, there was all about selling the dream, selling the training, selling the how-to guides. They weren't about actually in the trenches doing the deals, making real money from knowledge and experience of doing the deals. They were just selling the sizzle on the how-to guides, which we went our separate ways. Anyway, that uncoupling, you could say, was, quite vicious. It was in the public domain. They were the so-called gurus. They had the network, and they had all the friends, and they had all of the followers in that sense. Back then, I was just interested in making money, doing deals, and that's it. Anyway, things happened, we fell out, everybody went their separate ways. So that sort of scarred me a bit about getting into bed with another joint venture partner, you could say, because of the experience and how bad it was, and the problems and the challenges and the aftermath and the backlash and everything else, and the accusations and the false claims that came with that uncoupling. And so let's fast forward to now. Okay, so now in 2020, I've actually entered into multiple joint ventures, to be fair. Not now in 2020, prior to 2020, and right now in 2020. I've entered into a joint venture with my partner. So this is my girlfriend, who's also... Oh, sorry for the noise. I'm driving on the way to a new property that we just got the keys to. Just on the way there now, just to meet the handyman who's doing some work. Anyway, so I've entered into business with my partner, my girlfriend. So we live in the same household, etc. She's my partner. She's been invested in property for about probably a couple of years now, to be honest. And I've shown her how it all works. I've taught her the ropes. I've helped her find the first deals. Actually, as it happens, the first 2 deals that we found, which she still has now, were a joint venture back then. But again, because of clashes of opinions and being in a relationship with the person that you're also entering into business with, it didn't really work for me first time round, for a multitude of reasons, from, you know, knowing where the boundaries are, respecting the boundaries, to not get emotional. Because for me in business, I mean, there's just no room for emotions. There's no room for people getting upset. There's just no room for, you know, people getting stressed out and upset and attacking the other partner, you know, and getting irate and emotional. There's just no room for it. There's enough problems in the world. There's enough challenges in the world. There's enough problems and challenges in business every day just for making money and putting fires out, that I just don't want anymore. I just don't want any more, and I especially don't want to invite anybody else into my circle, which is my space, my clear headspace, which is my world, which I love and I enjoy, and I get everything I need from that world in business, making money, the ups, the downs, the challenges, putting fires out, dealing with staff, dealing with money troubles, dealing with bigger problems every single day, etc., etc. So I enjoy that. I love that. So I'm actually living what I call my dream in business. When I wake up, I go to the office, and then my working day starts. I mean, it starts way before then. It's 24 hours. I'm always on the clock. But just to give you an idea, when I start work, the only problems I want, because I'm the ultimate person which is responsible and accountable for those problems, because it starts and stops with me, I want to choose those problems. I want to invite those people. I want to be the decider, the decision maker, not somebody else bringing those problems. So I don't want somebody else that I've entered into business with, entered into a partnership with, that comes along and then pollutes my space, or then creates new problems, or then, you know, puts me on tilt because I have to now manage their emotions, etc. It's like having a member of staff. If you've got a negative member of staff around, you just cut them. Don't want them around, because whether they're doing massive or reaching huge sales targets, it can be toxic. It doesn't matter how much money they earn. If they're getting into that mental space of yours, which is where all your creativity comes from, all of your inspiration comes from, all your excitement comes from, all your enjoyment, and then that puts a cloud over that, for me, it's just, that person needs to go. Forget how much money they're generating. It just completely upsets the balance. Not saying that's what my partner's like at all. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that. But the first time round, there were some clashes of opinions, you could say. Maybe it's because she's brand new to business, never had a business partner, etc. And I've obviously been doing this for over 20 years. So maybe just a difference of knowledge and experience, and etc., etc. So anyway, that didn't work out a couple of years ago. The deals reverted back to her, so she had those 2 deals. And fast forward now, 2020, we've actually gone back into partnership together. We've ironed out any of the little challenges that were there before, which just comes to a clash of opinions. There's nothing more. It really is that simple. And now we've actually entered into, let me think, in 2020, in the pandemic, I'm talking about, in the pandemic alone, with one of my joint venture business partners, which is actually my partner, we've actually entered into, let me think, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm counting the deals, 4, this is since the 23rd of March, that's 4 deals, 5 deals, and I think we're looking at something else at the moment. So we've entered into 5 joint ventures together in the last 12 weeks, you could say, somewhere around 12 weeks, since the pandemic started. Because since the pandemic started, lots of people are just at home, watching Netflix, eating ice cream, getting fat, moaning, complaining, watching the news, not doing a lot, basically doing fuck all, and just blaming the world, and I can't run my business, and I can't do this, and I can't do that, just making excuses for about basically everything. Anyway, I'm the opposite. This pandemic has brought nothing but opportunities. Because of that, we found 5 deals that we've entered into, got the keys to, got guests in, got tenants in, etc. already in the last 12 weeks. So I'm talking about deals we've done since the pandemic has been upon us. Yes, it's terrible. It's a horrendous situation out there, but there's only 2 types of people. One type of person just complains. Just complains, doesn't really do a lot, just complains, watches the news, eats ice cream, Ben and Jerry's, watches a lot of Netflix, watches a lot of films, binges on box sets and crap like that. For me, it's the opposite. Where is the opportunity in what's happening right now? I found the opportunity, which are out there right now, and yes, me and my partner, one of my partners, this is business partner and partner, have made a lot of money in this pandemic. Now, I don't want to apologize for that, because some people will say you're profiteering off of the pandemic. This is wrong. You can't sell. You can't make money. You shouldn't be doing this. You know, you're a shark, some people would say, but it's not about that. We're in business to make money in all cycles. When the property market is rising, when it's static, when it's plateaued, when it's falling, and when it's crashing, and when there's a pandemic. It makes no difference to me. We're making money in all cycles, you could say. The same as an investor, Warren Buffett, that invests in the stock market. When it's rising, there's one strategy. When it's completely neutral, there's a different strategy. When it's falling and crashing and burning and everybody's getting out, there's another completely different strategy. Anyway, so we've done 5 deals in the last 12 weeks. One of the deals, actually, we just got the keys to on Friday, just gone. And as it happens, we're in there now, doing the work now, getting the property done, and ready for guests, ready for clients, okay? I've just turned into a dead end. I'm trying to find another property we just got the keys to, and I've actually got stuck because I've just gone into a dead end. So I'm just driving at the moment onto another property we just got the keys to, and I'm lost. I went here yesterday, and now I can't even find it. Actually, that brings me on to another story. I remember back in around about 2006, somewhere around there, 2006, I bought a block of flats. And I didn't even go there. I hardly ever used to go to any of the properties that I used to buy, because it was just a numbers game. How much does it cost to buy it, the building? How much will it make? How much is the finance? What's the exit strategy? What if it doesn't rent? What is the size, etc., etc. Now, I just used to look at those numbers from a piece of paper or on the internet, online, look at the comparables, look at everything else, and to decide, yes, I want to go into this deal, no, I don't. So I bought a block of flats a long time ago. I think it was around 2006. And I never actually went there until, I'm trying to think when it was now, about 2015? I think it was 2015 or 2016. I've never actually been there. So how many years is that? Maybe 10 years later. I didn't even know where it was. I went there, I remember, to try to just have a look for the first time. I think some tenants had moved out. Actually, I remember what it was. We had an eviction, thinking about it. And I think some tenants had moved out as well around about the same time. And I'm lost again. And I had to go there, or I was in the area. So I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to pop by and have a look at this block of flats that I bought. Just because I've never seen it. And some of them were empty at the same time. So I was trying to find it, and I couldn't even find this block of flats that I bought. So I had to ring somebody, one of the agents, and say to them, you know, this is quite embarrassing. You know, my flat that you rent, this one, and you know, the other flat that you rent, that one. I'm actually on my way there now. I'm just trying to find the flat. And I can't seem to find the block. So they just laughed and said, you can't find the block to your own flats, you can't find where they are. Have you never been there before? I mean, we've been renting it for you for however long, and you're telling me you can't find it. Anyway, that was a little embarrassing, ringing the agent to try to ask them for directions to get to a block of flats that I bought that they've been renting for many years for me. Anyway, that's how it comes. I sidetracked a bit there, but that's how it used to be, and that's how it still is now, looking at the numbers and just deciding like that, with all the numbers in front of you, does this deal work or not? Okay, so I got sidetracked a little bit there. Here we are. I've actually found where we are. So I got lost, and now I've found the property. So I'm just going to put you on hold for 1 second. Let's hit pause. Let me step in real quick. I share a ton of business and investment tactics on this show, and it's a shame that there's no interaction on a platform like this. which is why I've created a Facebook community group called Property Crash Course, where I get to answer all of your questions. So you just post a deal or post a question and I'll show you where the money is in your deal or answer your question for you. So help me to help you and your business right now by asking me anything you need help with. Does that sound fair? Just go to Facebook and then search the groups and then type in Property Crash Course. Okay, so just a little interval there. Thank you for bearing with me. Just had to jump inside and meet one of the handymen. So back in the car, here we go, driving again. So yeah, what I was talking about is joint ventures with business partners. Now, I just entered into another joint venture with my girlfriend, who's also my business partner. And yeah, second time round, you know, we've ironed out all of the little teething problems that there were with, understandably, two people coming together to work together, to make money together, and having the complications of being in a relationship as well. So 2 years later, we've got back into business together, worked out all of those you know, minor things, nothing major, just minor things. And now, since the pandemic, we've actually entered into 5 deals together. I'm just going to run through them now, actually, just to give you some insight about the type of deals that are available, the type of deals that are out there, and how you guys can make some money from property right now, even during the pandemic, still during the lockdown. Okay, so one of the deals, actually 2 of the deals, thinking about it, 2 of them were from the same person in that sense. So what it is, there's a holiday rental company. Now this holiday rental company, they've got a lot of properties. They had some vacant properties, some voids, some properties that they could not rent. So what I did is I found the properties on the internet just by searching for short lets, any short let available. And I found one property initially, and it was vacant, and it was already set up as a short let. So it was already from a holiday rental company. This is the key. I literally just approached them and said, we're also a short-term rental company. We have clients. I see your property is empty. You're asking for this much money. Can we do a deal where we can lease it from you for a fixed period of time? They was offering bookings from something like 1 week to 4 months. So I approached them, said how much we wanted to pay, agreed the deal, and that was around about £1,400 a month, including all of the bills. This is a 3-bedroom property, which normally would rent on the local market rent for around about 1,800, maybe 2,000 a month. Remember, it's including all of the bills. On a short-term rental basis, it would rent for probably about anything up to about £3,000 in reality. In the summer, a lot more, but on average, probably about £3,000 a month. This particular property would rent for. We picked it up at 1,400. Okay, now that's one of the deals. Also, once we closed that deal, we approached them, or I approached them and said, do you have anything else? Of course, they've got other properties. They're a holiday rental company. So they sent us the details of another property. They sent us the details of another property, and we had a look at that. And this is another 3-bedroom property. This is a 3-bedroom flat. We did a deal on a 3-bedroom flat, and that was around about the same price, $1,350, $1,375 a month, including all the bills, and it would have rented for the similar money. I'm talking probably about $1,800, $1,900 a month. It should have rented for, we picked it up for $1,375, I think it was, including all of the bills. The same thing, we just booked it for as long as we could. I think that was around about 3 months on a short-term rental contract. Okay, now that property right now, or each of those properties, is generating at least £1,000 profit every single month. That's 2 there that we've done together from the same landlord, from the same company. Now I found another rental or short-term holiday rental company and approached them. They had one property. We secured that property from them, we ended up taking 2 properties. So this particular holiday rental company, you know, had multiple properties. These guys have got probably about, I don't know off the top of my head, I think they got about 40 properties, something like that. I think they got about 40 properties.
Make sure you've subscribed, because tomorrow you'll get free Fridays. Every Friday, we bring some fun and excitement back into business by giving away the unlocks you need to push you through the hurdles. Free training giveaways, free products, free mentoring, and all because it's Free Friday. So make sure you've left a review, posted questions in the Property Crash Course community, or done something great so we can salute you.
They've got about 40 properties, and we approached them on one deal, managed to secure one particular deal, which was around about, I'm trying to think what we paid now. What did we pay for that? The first deal we did with them, I can't even remember which one it was. There's so many going on. And what deal did we do with them? I think that would have been, actually I know which one that was. So we secured that in the region of £1,050 a month. This is a 1-bed flat, approach a holiday rental company, and we have a fixed period with them and a rolling contract. This one is slightly different because they wanted to know that when the holiday rental market opens back up, they're not tied into us for a long time and they're losing money, because they're already losing money during the lockdown because their properties are empty, many of them, and we're taking them at rock bottom prices. This is a 1-bed with a garden. I think we got it at $1,050, including all of the bills. So this is unheard of. It would normally rent probably about $1,650. We got it for $1,050, including all of the bills. That one generates in the region of about 2,000 a month. That one generates for us. So we've basically got at least 100% return on that, which is fantastic from a 1-bed. And then we secured another property from them, which is a 2-bed. So that's 2 from this same company, another holiday rental company. So that's 2 different holiday rental companies I'm talking about now. We secured another one from them, a very luxury, high-end, fully furnished, of course. All of these are 2-bedroom duplex. So it's on 2 levels in a very, very prestigious building. It's probably valued in the region of about 500 to about £600,000 right now. So it's a luxury, high-end 2-bedroom apartment on 2 floors. Now that one we paid $1,550 a month for, and that again is on a fixed period and then on a notice period for around about, I think it's about 7 or 14 days if I can remember correctly, that when they get the bookings, when they get, you know, enough, you know, dates in their calendar, they just serve the notice on us, then it reverts back to them, and then they run it as their own holiday rental. So that generates probably in the region of, let me think, that one's generating in the region of about £3,000 a month, okay? So that's 4 deals that we did together there with my new joint venture partner, which is actually my girlfriend, my partner as well. And we got one other in the same building, thinking about it recently. Last Friday, we got the keys to another one in the same building. This is actually next door. This is actually next door to the duplex that we've got. Now, this one was another particular deal where they tried to sell it, they couldn't sell it, it's sitting empty, so we've done a deal where we just rent it until they exchange contracts, okay? Now, there's lots of these deals around, especially now in the current climate, there's lots of these deals around. So let me give you an idea of what we picked this deal up at. Bearing in mind the one next door but one is valued at around about £500,000 to £600,000. It used to rent, or the average market rent is about $2,100 a month. That's on an AST, right, without the bills. On a short-term rental, you can get anything up to about £3,500 a month. A lot more if you run it per night, okay? Now, the one 2 doors away, or 1 door away, there's one apartment in the middle, and then the next one we actually got from a completely separate company that I've worked with for a few years now. And again, the local market rent is anything from about $1,700 to about $2,000 for this particular one, 2 bedrooms, but it needed a bit of work, so we agreed to do the work to it, and we actually got that for just over £1,000 a month, because we have to do the work. So the local market rent, like I just said, is about $1,800 to about $2,000 on an AST. We got it for just over $1,000 with the bills included. So let's just say on average, those 5 deals that we've done in the last 12 weeks with one of my joint venture partners generate at least £1,000 a month. Okay, that's $5,000 a month they generate at least every single month. Now that's net. That's net profit. So when we share that, that's at least £2,500 a month for those 5 deals. Now, what have I learned from this experience of having joint venture partners is the reality is there was lots of challenges at the start. There was lots of clashes of opinions. I suppose because it's my girlfriend, I was maybe treating her slightly different because she's my girlfriend and my joint venture partner. And because on the other side of the coin, in her opinion, I'm her partner, isn't a relationship partner, and I'm her business partner, so she was treating me a bit different, a bit emotional, a bit, for example, if you're in a meeting with somebody, the professionalism has come down a level, you could say, because we're in a relationship and we're partners in that sense. So you could probably say that's where the clash was, or that's where the challenge was, or that's just where the discrepancies were, just because we was in a relationship. But we've both come a long way. It's been like a full circle in that sense. And now we understand each other better, and now we know how to treat each other, and now we know what we shouldn't say to each other, and now we know what we should say to each other by understanding what pushes each other's buttons, what upsets each other, where it's the crossover between, it's like doing business with family. Some say you should never do it, some say you should only do it. Like, for example, Trump loves doing business with family, which I believe is the best thing, because it gives you that extra level of trust, of security, of, you know, like dedication and everything else. But on the other side of the coin, it can backfire and be the exact opposite, because the other person, the expectations that they have, because they're a family member, is thinking they might get treated easier, or their work will be, or they could be more relaxed about it, or they can get away with more, etc., etc. I think it should be the opposite. When you're doing business with family, there's like that higher level of wanting to get things done, the higher level of trust, the higher level of dedication, the higher level of, wanting to make it a success, and what they bring to the table because they're family. So now I'm really pleased. We're working together. You know, things are just flowing. We've got these 5 deals that we've already done in the last, 12 weeks or so. And I think it's a very good thing for anybody listening, to work together, to work with family, to work with, your family members in that sense. So, yeah, just me and my ramblings about doing business with family, doing joint ventures with family members, or even partners, girlfriends, etc. It can work, it does work, it takes a lot of work, but when you get to that stage, when it works, it's working very well. So I'm really pleased about this joint venture. So I hope that you guys got some value from this episode. I would love to hear your thoughts. He's a #1 Amazon bestseller. He's an NLP manipulator. He's a property course seller. He's a Lamborghini driving multi-millionaire property guru. Forget that same old boring I am me narcissistic podcast format, because nobody gives a f***. This podcast is all about you. So I'm taking these few seconds to thank you for subscribing, to thank you for leaving your 5-star reviews, and thank you for sharing this show with all of your friends. My team and I will keep bringing you these episodes and answering all of your burning questions in my Facebook community group called Property Crash Course. If you can just keep telling all of your friends about this show.